Kickstarter. I'm letting you know that I'm getting ready to put my project up on the Cybermatrix 100 transaction unit 1.
On January 14th, 2014, a project was launched on Kickstarter called Cybermatrix 100. The project was subtitled in all caps. This console has the ability to let users make and play cyber games using one engine, the Cyber OS 100. The project promised a lot for what it was. It was amateurish, with diagrams haphazardly made in paint, lacking any proper explanation, consistent grammatical errors, and a writing style which didn't exactly inspire much confidence. The project, which raised $363 of its $2,500 goal, was the first of many to be made by one Schaun Bishop, better known as Pisces, though he's gone through several other names throughout making these projects and beyond. These projects, childlike and silly as they were, would spark some curiosity, his third attempt at his Cybermatrix projects, and fourth project overall, garnering enough attention to seemingly reach its $500 goal, which also meant getting the attention of one Ian Dubs, who would go on to make 3 videos dedicated to Pisces' projects and his response to Ian's criticism. Part of the reason why this project seemed to be more successful and more popular was that this project's video was far more prominent, although the first 2 had a video which did feature Pisces' explanations for the project.
For Kickstarter, and I'm recording a project for my Cybermatrix.
It was a little bit hidden away, considering the fact that the thumbnail was just another one of the weird drawings. But how did these projects come to be? Who truly is Schaun Bishop? What is he up to now? And indeed, what would the Cybermatrix have been? If it could have been. However, right off the bat, I will say I won't be looking into 2 things. First of all, I'm not going to make any guesses as to what exactly is wrong with Pisces. I'm not in really a position to make any such guesses, and I do think it would be inappropriate to do so. I will be avoiding giving away too much personal information about Schaun, especially in regards to his current social media, such as his new YouTube channel. While it's relatively easy to find, I'd still rather not bring any more harassment to it. When it comes to his personal life, I won't dig too deep, limiting myself to the information on his Kickstarter page and remnants from his Facebook profile, now mostly inactive and cleared of content, meaning I don't have reason to worry about giving away too much. You might now point out that I didn't put this care into my Lucic video. This is true because Lucic sucks. Moving on. There's a lot to go over anyway, starting with the projects. In total, Pisces made 7 Kickstarter projects, 5 of them dedicated to the Cybermatrix, and 2 of them dedicated to Pisces Emissary Adventures. He rapid-fired them out in 2014 going into 2015. The first project starts 14th of January, ends on March 15th. Then on March 18th, he starts the UO1 project, which ends on April 17th. April 18th, he starts the first Pisces project, ends it on May 18th. He takes a slightly longer break, 2 weeks in fact, and launches the third successful Cybermatrix project, the TUO1, on July 3rd. It reaches its goal on August 2nd, ends on August 18th. Then, as soon as the project ends, on the same day, he starts up the TUO2 project. That ends on September 12th. A month later, on October 14th, he launches the second Pisces project, which ends on November 13th. Then the final Cybermatrix project is launched November 30th and ends unsuccessfully on January 24th, 2015. His projects were all consistently marked by several things. First of all, indecipherable nonsense in the descriptions. This wasn't really helped along by Pisces' seeming inability to form coherent sentences. Constant, and I do mean constant, updates and comments on the project left by Pisces, responding to every single comment he would get. A lot of these comments were made to beg for more money. It seems Pisces believed the people backing him would always have a little bit more to give. As for the backers themselves, they seem to enjoy playing along with Pisces' plans from the start, encouraging him and asking clarifying questions which helped better illustrate his intentions with the project. The Cybermatrix would be capable of not just creating and playing video games, it would also be able to record and edit video and audio footage for the creation of movies, connect to virtual reality with haptic feedback, and even act as a social media platform. If only there was a device capable of all of these things. Unfortunately, despite the suggestion seeming brilliant, the Cybermatrix wouldn't be able to let its user travel in time, as it would be far too dangerous to attempt and could end multiple lives. Just on the very first project, his demands for more money would grow more aggressive, and he'd be insulted by the insinuation that he was bullying anyone out of their money. He also reveals the reasoning behind the name, when prompted by one Richard T asking why this only has 100, Xbox 360 has 260 more, and that be out for like 8 years? Schaun responds, "Richard, the reason why I called it the Cybermatrix 100 is because it's the first cyber console of its kind. I need at least 35 or more, no more $1 pledges. $35 or more, thanks all." Schaun responded rather receptively to any criticism towards the console. Even when its design was called into question, he always had an answer ready. "Schaun, it's very important that we ensure the quantum engine does not intersect the EEPROM directly as the new media disks begin their rotation. The galaxy port synchronicity is in grave danger of becoming untangled as the AI system further separates from the console's interior. I'm really concerned about the NAND. We will need to know everything about it if this project has any hope of succeeding. Currently, I'm worried that everything's about to fall really far into its own turbine engines and will end up sprayed all over the AV ports. Tyler, there won't be any problems with the Cybermatrix's interiors. The quantum turbine engine is built to withstand heat coming from outside, like I said before. It has an advanced intercooler which protects the console from overheating. The interior will be built to withstand the heat of the galaxy ports." Clearly, we were dealing with a man who knew what he was talking about. And not just that, but a man with infinite generosity. "Wait until 2030 and I'll send you all the consoles for free. If I get rich, I'll buy the consoles needed for you all. Schaun." He was also clearly capable of recognizing his project's flaws. "Dear users, I've been reading and I think I need more professional drawings to help others understand the entirety of the system and my project's goals. Can anyone help? Schaun." "Have you only made diagrams in MS Paint?" "Yes, I only have MS Paint." At the end of the first project, some users were questioning whether or not the project was even legitimate, calling into question if it could possibly have been some sort of social experiment, promotional stunt, or something else. To all of these concerns, Schaun responded negatively, declaring that his project was legitimate and would in fact one day succeed. The second project saw far less activity and less donations, with only 15 backers and $194. Several things are of note. 1. A lot more diagrams, and I do mean a lot more of them, including depictions of startup screens and the controller, the loading screen, the cum chute. There were far fewer updates to the project and far fewer comments. However, one comment would end up being of incredible significance. A comment left by one William Baggett. "Dude, why do you ask for so much money? If you wanted $500, I bet you'd get it in no time." In response to this, Schaun gives us a breakdown of what exactly the money would be going towards. "The reason why I need so much money is for the following. $1,600 would go for patenting my project and making a patent portfolio, and the rest will go for licensing and producing parts for Cybermatrix's interior and exterior as well." But that's not all. At the end of the project, 2 days before the project ended, on April 15th, he released a project update. "Dear all, I only have 1 day to fund my console," actually it was 2, "and now it's impossible, or is it, to pledge what I need. After this project, I'll attempt transaction units in increments of $300 to $500 per TU. Wish me luck on this method. Piscea." This is where I get to call out iDubbbz for not doing his due diligence when researching the project in the first place, because he clearly criticizes it for not mentioning that it's only a part 1.
Let's be serious for a moment, everyone. This project was not described as having a part 2, part 3, or part 4. He withheld information from us, and for that, I cannot forgive him. He's now asking for 10,000.
However, the TU01 indicates that this is the first transaction unit of many to come in the future. which is obvious if you looked at all the previous projects, then managed to decipher both what he was saying in them and in the Transaction Unit 1 project. To that extent, I think I've been able to decipher what exactly all the acronyms mean in his projects. The first acronym he uses, UO1, refers to an update, his first update, though he doesn't use this one ever again. TUO1 refers, as I mentioned, to Transaction Unit 1, the first of many to come, and TUO2, of course, is the second transaction unit, and AO2 refers to a second attempt, attempt number 2. He uses this both for his final Cybermatrix project and for his second Team Pisces Emissary Adventures project. Despite the apparent success of Transaction Unit 1, Schaun would not stick with the whole transaction unit concept in its entirety. Though he intended to only ask for about $500 per project, he quickly changed his mind, however, as Transaction Unit 2 was already at a $10,000 goal, and well, it received $0 from 0 backers. The reasoning behind this was revealed by an interaction in the comments, which happened at the end of the Transaction Unit 1 project. David Finkelstein would repeatedly pester Schaun for updates. How about an update? You really should give us an update. Hey Schaun, where's an update? And he finally gave one. David, I know, but when someone doesn't post $334 on my Amazon payments account and I only get $76, I don't post any more updates, okay? No offense, kid. I was supposed to get my full $504. And so it seems that, despite the apparent success of the project, Schaun had received almost none of the money, which you could argue is for better or for worse, but clearly this had made Schaun believe that these small transaction units were not viable. Let's discuss Pisces himself. Who is he exactly? Where does he come from? Where did he go? Well, one of the first things that we ought to address is the notion presented by iDubbbz that Pisces was actually just a hired actor and a friend, and that they knew each other personally.
Okay, I can't keep this up any longer. Pisces is a guy that I met last semester in college. We both took drama class together, and he is a fucking riot. This dude can act, he can sing, he's a comedian. If you're an agent in Hollywood, hire him. He's fucking incredible.
As nice of a thought as it was, this is absolutely false. There is no reason to believe that Pisces went so deep into the character that he was pretending to be this guy for such a long time before the Kickstarter crap even came out, and certainly not for the longest time up to current day afterwards. The reality of it seems that Ian recognized that Pisces was, well, not all there, and decided that the best course of action, having already made these videos, was to just steer away from any harassment by saying that he doesn't deserve it on account of being just a friend. Schaun's Kickstarter profile reads in its entirety, I live in St. Louis for about 18 years now, and I was raised in a poor household. I always spend money on things I only want rather need. In a house of just my parents and me, however, I was raised in Orlando, Florida, in a house of 2 older sisters and 1 older brother. I was raised in a large-sized family, but I live alone with parents that loves me and cares for me. A big shout out to them, and kudos to my backers and backers-to-be. However, this is an updated version of his profile, because the previous version also included the following line. I was raised in a large-sized family, but I live alone with parents that loves me and cares for me. I just wish I didn't abuse them. Now, this first project did receive some attention. It was posted on r/shitty Kickstarters on January 16th, 2014. The comments on this Reddit post were skeptical, assuming that the entire thing was just trolling. We do know better now. Updates on his projects would be regularly posted onto r/shitty Kickstarters. This included both the Cybermatrix projects and their successes and failures, as well as the Pisces Emissary Adventures project. Along with these updates, there were several posts from people who had gotten into contact directly with Pisces himself. A user going by the name Turk Rockefeller had gotten into contact with Pisces on multiple occasions and had become a regular chatter with him on Facebook. These conversations do offer some insight, both into Pisces' personal life, as well as his motivations and plans behind the Cybermatrix. Alex Sorkin, aka Turk Rockefeller, had gotten into contact with Pisces with a simple hello message on Facebook. "Hello, I saw your Kickstarter and I wanted to chat. Don't worry, I'm not a bully." From here on, they had multiple conversations, friendly in tone, and giving us certain insight. The very first insight that Alex asked for was, is the project real? Is it serious or just a joke? To which Pisces of course responded that it is very serious. Alex also asked for clarification regarding the line mentioning the abuse towards his parents. To which Pisces responds, "That means I regret what I did and I want to make it up to them. That's what it means." Alex also does ask about his mental capacity, asking, "Also, I really don't mean to be mean, but do you have some sort of mental difficulties? I have Asperger's." To which Pisces responds, "I have autism." Yep, the high-functioning type. Pisces then goes on to describe why he picked his name, or was given his name, I suppose. He says, "The last name Sikono came from when I was sent on a mission to find a Sikono family, and when I did, they were in trouble, so I helped them escape. Ever since, they officially called me Piscea Sikono. Sikono is Kivanese for ocean warrior." Are you a fish? "I do have part ultrafish and holy dragon, but I'm in human form right now. I don't like it very much, you see. And to tell you the truth, this is gonna blow your mind. During the Camelot ages, I was hatched to a dragon herd. My mom, Sylvia Nighttail, and my father, Gregory Nighttail, raised me along with the herd, but unlike them, I had feathered wings, not webbed wings. I took this seriously when they all died to the Knights Templar. I went to take revenge on my fallen herd, and I killed their king and a white wizard, spliced my head off, and I hated human sense." Okay. After giving us all this important fish lore, he goes on to talk about the project. "Yeah, but my last pre-project attempt had failed at almost 400 and now it's 25,000 as my master goal. Time is running out and I may have to do increments over project transactions $500 each. I need $1,600 to open a patent pending portfolio and the rest for console development. The console has the ability to allow users create their own games, kinda like a peer-to-peer environment that you can make in cyberspace. No pain nor death is allowed, you'll feel the tugging and the hits, but you won't get killed. The Cybermatrix's artificial intelligence system, AIs, as well as the cyber booth and cyber portal, will take you to a private cyber terminal in the pre-game. Once you launch into the game, you can use whatever element you're playing as a requirement. The cyber booth expands from a power pod, shaped like an egg, as well as the cyber portal, the ROM attachment, the Galaxy attachment, and the HDMI ports all work independently so you can leave regardless of power outage. It runs its own power and doesn't use gas. Power cell inside the cyber controller and the console will last forever, unlike batteries which use acid. The power cell charges itself when it runs low. All of this works independently and you can play using your body or Cybermatrix integrated avatar, CIA, and also checks for Cybermatrix authenticated lifeform, CAL, can be modified but not deleted. Once I get this patented, I'll take someone's advice and use transaction code 01 to 50. Hopefully, I'll get enough to make the post-project, meaning when the console is finished, and that'll be it. At the end of this conversation, there's an exchange that both causes suspicion and in some capacity removes it entirely. Because upon being prompted, Pisces describes that he would like to purchase an Xbox One, however he does not have the money for it. As such, he asks Alex's opinion. Is there any way that he could raise this money on Kickstarter or any other crowdfunding website? This of course led to several Redditors suggesting that his entire reason for making the Cybermatrix project was to fund his own purchase of a console. That doesn't seem to be the case at all. It seemed like he was genuinely going to put the money towards the Cybermatrix, whatever that really meant. Follow-up conversations between these two reveal further information about Pisces. He mentions getting bullied on Facebook but not really taking it too personally, as he says that he's mostly used to such things. He also talks about drinking, and having an in-home therapist, though she only comes by once a week. He also asks Alex for a link to the thread posted on Reddit, and doesn't really take that criticism to heart too much. When probed further by Alex that his project isn't quite enough to file a patent or in fact create an entire console, Pisces does get visibly upset, going into all caps mode. "Oh, I see. Did you see my diagrams?" "Yes, but they're paint illustrations." "They still qualify as illustrations though." "Yeah, but it's not enough to file a patent." "But that's all I got. You know how long it took me to finally serve these files as illustrations?" Whoa man, calm down. No need to get upset. It took me 5 years to work on this. I know. Sorry about that. No problem. But it did take me 5 years though. To make those MS Paint diagrams, I kept breaking my computers. What do you mean? I just kept breaking them out of loss of control of my anger. Yikes. Yeah. What type of program lets me draw blueprints to send to Invention Home? If so, how do I use it? Although the initial interaction was started by Alex, further interactions were mostly prompted by Pisces. For example, he would message Alex even in the dead of night, asking for advice or to invite him to some app, or ask him, 16-year-old dude, if he can get a team to develop the Cybermatrix 100 and how much would it cost if not free. At this point, Alex seems to have had enough and does give him an honest opinion of exactly why the entire thing would never work. But, well, Pisces remains undeterred, responding, "Nothing's impossible, it can be made. Give them 15 years and the technology will evolve with the Cybermatrix. We'll be in a new age. Space pages will add to the star charts, evolving space travel, and obsoleting ground streets. You can travel to places via internet instead of a car, train, bus, plane or sea ship. Get what I'm saying? People need to stop stereotyping and misjudging my cybergame consoles as too far-fetched, which it ain't." Who are they? The people in general. Back in July of 2015, a thread was started on kiwifarms.net. Apologies if I tread on your toes, Frederick. Titled Piscea Sikono, parentheses, Schaun Bishop. Dedicated to documenting and discussing all of the information the users could find on Schaun, this thread acts both as a concise summary of all this information and as a look into now deleted YouTube content created by Schaun and the comments underneath. This research was graciously conducted by Kiwi Farms user, Short Commander. Short Commander describes the following video of particular interest. In this, we see an interaction between Sikono and his mother in their kitchen. Sikono mentions Jehovah and praying to him, despite saying that he is Christian, in his IDubbbz response video. His mother seems to not give a shit about him, and tries to ignore him, only responding with yeah or mumbles. Sikono mentions the creature inside him, and that despite this, he is still human, possibly referring to some sort of otherkin spirit animal, most likely a fish. Shart also mentions that Pisces had set up an Indiegogo page to fund the purchase of an Xbox One, following Alex Sorkin's advice, clearly. In the comments to the rant video against IDubbbz, he has an explanation for his persona as an ultrafish. Once you are saved by the Pentecost of Christ and of special privileges and register as an entertainian, then see me at Diamond Coral Estates and you will automatically have an ultrafish form once registered on the Entertainment World Dimension system. Everyone gets treated equally. Finances are equal, no one's homeless, no one's hurting or in pain, no one's hungry, and you don't have to eat or drink. You can if you want. Shelter is always provided in all universes, oceanic, archipelic, skyetic, and cosmic. And wherever you go, you have free element firing types, bullets, energy, and explosives. Whether you're civilian or part of the Team Pisces emissary, you will have them. It's the power level that dictates the severity of your elements, K? Entertainian are the people of Entertainment World, or wherever the fuck it's called, that he mentioned in his fish novel Kickstarter, I presume. Quote, Short Commander. It then appeared that by July 5th, Piscea Sikono had deleted all of his YouTube content, including the rant against IDubbbz. With his past out of the way, it is time to look at the present. As I had mentioned earlier in the video, Pisces had created a new channel, or rather it appears that he has renamed the channel in which he had uploaded all of his previous content relating to the Cybermatrix and other videos such as his Pisces videos. As I said before, I'm not going to be mentioning the name of this channel, but it is fairly easy to find. For the most part, Pisces uploads short, unedited clips from video games, mostly Smash Brothers, with no commentary. These clips get only a couple of dozen of views, of course. Occasionally, however, he also uploads vlog-style videos, where he talks about his life and current affairs, and sometimes asks for technical help.
I'm having a problem with formatting my SD card, and I'm going to go ahead and show you as my switch as loading proof. First, let me go ahead and show you that my switch has the SD card.
Or thanks the few subscribers he has.
YouTube, this is Schaun Bishop, and I am here to finally cover you that you have officially watched 50 videos of my latest and greatest Super Smash Bros. Fighting videos and some other videos I've uploaded from Xbox One. And if you're not really tardy enough, but if you noticed something on your Xbox One or anything, and not downloading any games, contact Microsoft and ask them why am I not downloading? Why is my console not downloading any videos? I just don't get it, because I'm having that same problem.
For the most part, he is rather civil both in these videos and in the comment sections. When asked about the Cybermatrix and his interactions with iDubbbz, he seems reluctant and doesn't really want to talk about it too much, though he does provide a little bit of clarification. He also talks about previously contacting iDubbbz on Facebook and even having friended him, though he did unfriend him some time ago. He also doxed himself entirely in one of the comment sections. Yeah. Unfortunately, his mental state and naivete has not gone anywhere, at least so it seems. In his latest video, as of this recording, he talks about acquiring Phoenix powers, and seems to be quite earnest about it. At the very least, his fantasy has not left him. Outside of these small interactions in the comments and the few and far between vlogs, we do have very little information about what exactly Pisces has been up to. But at the very least, it seems that he is in a better place emotionally, as he seems content with only uploading these small clips for only a few people to see, but perhaps enjoy. Now that we know a little bit more about the man, perhaps we should now finally learn a bit more about the Cybermatrix itself and its construction. The very first thing you see in the diagrams are all the ports and CD drives and readers and writers, along with the Galaxy attachment port. This port was apparently intended for making your own devices. I'm not sure how the Cybermatrix would help with that, or why you'd use this port and not just give your device a USB connector or something. For all intents and purposes, we can just assume that whatever it is you wanted to connect to the Cybermatrix, there would be some slot for it to go in. As for the whole VR AI thing, considering limitations in VR technology present to this day, back when the projects were first made, you could probably expect something on the level of VR chat at most. That said, Pisces never actually provided us with any schematics that showed any VR equipment. All we got was the controller, which does make you wonder if he was actually intending to make the whole VR thing a reality, or if he just thought people will be so immersed in the world of fish, it would seem like it's real VR. The power system. The meat and potatoes of the Cybermatrix is its power supply system. It's admittedly a little confusing, but the core of this system involves three things: self-charging power cells, a high-tech intercooler, and of course, the quantum turbine engine. To address the elephant in the room first, let's talk about that last part. It's never been exactly clear what he meant by quantum turbine engine at the time, but the concept, presented in a slightly different way, isn't entirely sci-fi, though it's not that far removed from fiction either. When you hear turbine engine, you might immediately think of airplanes or wind turbines, which is what prompted some commenters under the iDubbbz video to claim that Pisces wanted to strap a jet engine to his console. But this isn't true. A turbine engine is just an engine which generates power with the use of fluid motion, including the flow of air, such as with wind turbines. Meanwhile, a quantum heat engine is a device which generates power using the heat flow from hot areas to colder ones. I'm no physicist, but continuous heat engines are apparently analogs to traditional turbines, and the whole process in them, and in things like the Carnot heat engine, essentially means transforming some of that heat energy into mechanical work. If, hearing all that, you're concerned about the size, These reactions work around the scale of single particles, which makes the way Pisces describes the engine as using 4 shooter marble shaped motherboards that govern the Cybermatrix 100 sound a bit more reasonable. In fact, it's the intercooler which makes the whole system more confusing than anything else. Presumably, whatever cooling needed to happen would be done by the engine, since that's the process which should be generating power. Or perhaps the intercooler is supposed to be the endpoint for the particles, and going from the engine to the intercooler is what generates... Oh god, Schaun, I quit my engineering course 2 years ago. Why the hell are you making me study quantum thermodynamics? Lastly, the power cells. I'm not sure what Schaun means when he says that they'd not use acid, since that's sort of what defines something as a power cell or battery. The electrochemical process, which, you guessed it, revolves around that exact thing. But that aside, it would be entirely possible for the device to monitor its own battery levels and fire up the engine when they needed charging, which, if the engine or any component utilized by said engine was particularly volatile, wouldn't be all too bad of an idea, since presumably the engine would only need to run in short bursts. Of course, all of this had remained purely theoretical. Until today. Alright then, everything seems to be in working order. Batteries optimal, engine ready to go, galaxy port engaged, the egg thing is where it needs to be. I think we are ready for our final test. That's right, add a cat. I think it's time. Add one more. Ah, shit.